Arizona just lost 18% of its Colorado River water. Nevada lost 7%. Mexico lost 5%. California, 0%. And if you live in Phoenix, Tucson, or anywhere in Arizona, you're about to find out what happens when 40% of your state's water supply disappears while your neighbor gets to keep everything. But here's what nobody's telling you about these cuts. They're about to get way worse, because the 7 states negotiating to save the Colorado River just blew past their deadline, and the federal government is about to step in and force cuts that Arizona can't survive. The clock is ticking, and Arizona is running out of time. Most people think Arizona's water cuts are just a temporary drought problem. Wait for more snow in the Rockies and everything goes back to normal. That's what Tom Bushotsky, Arizona's Department of Water Resources director, used to think too. But at the Colorado River Water Users Association conference in Las Vegas last week, he said something that should terrify every Arizona resident. Assuming there's no further development in Southern Agreement, my cuts will be mandatory. My water users will not have any choice. Here's why this is different. Arizona faces an 18% cut right now, but the current water sharing rules expire at the end of 2026, and the 7 states are supposed to have a new deal by February 14th. They just blew past their November deadline, and as of last week's Vegas conference, they're no closer to an agreement. Translation: if states can't agree, the feds will impose cuts, and when that happens, Arizona, as the junior water rights holder, will lose even more. Let me show you exactly why Arizona is getting destroyed while California skates by untouched. It all comes down to water rights from the 1922 Colorado River Compact. California has senior rights, meaning they're first in line. Arizona, junior rights, last in line. When there's not enough water, Arizona gets cut first, California gets cut last. Right now, Arizona farmers in Maricopa and Pinal counties have lost 512,000 acre-feet of water. That's 30% of the Central Arizona Project's normal supply. Christopher Avery, a water attorney for Tucson, said at the Vegas conference, "I don't have my next steps. Until there's a deal, it's really hard for Tucson to put any kind of long-term plan together." Arizona farmers can't plan. Cities can't plan because nobody knows how deep the next cuts will go. And California? J.B. Humby, chairman of California's Colorado River Board, admitted California will likely have to give up more in negotiations, but right now, they're giving up nothing. But Arizona's real fight isn't with California. It's with Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, and New Mexico, the upper basin states. And that fight just turned into a full-blown war. On November 12th, Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs did something unprecedented. She sent a letter directly to Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, bypassing negotiations entirely. The letter demanded that the federal government force mandatory cuts on upper basin states like Colorado. This extreme negotiating posture has led to a fundamental impasse that is preventing the successful development of a 7-state consensus plan. At the Vegas conference, Arizona's chief negotiator, Tom Bushotsky, said my cuts under the 1.5 million acre-foot proposal will be mandatory. My water users will not have any choice. Here's the problem. Arizona is already taking mandatory cuts, 512,000 acre-feet gone. But Colorado? They say they don't even have the legal authority to impose mandatory cuts on their water users. Colorado's negotiator, Becky Mitchell, said, "I have no idea what Mother Nature is going to do to any of you in this room this year. I think the only way we get there is if we can do it voluntarily within our states." Voluntarily, while Arizona loses 18% by force. John Ensminger, Nevada's chief negotiator, summed up the Vegas conference in 5 words: "Time is short. Time has been wasted." The federal government gave states until February 14th to submit a detailed plan. That's less than 60 days from now. If they miss it, the Bureau of Reclamation will impose its own solution, and nobody knows what that looks like. Gabriel Lopez, tribal chairman of the Ak-Chin Indian community in southern Arizona, said at the conference, "I'm worried about future water cuts." He should be. Everyone in Arizona should be. Because the forecast that just dropped makes this even worse. At the Vebis conference, the Bureau of Reclamation released its latest forecast for the Colorado River in 2026. Inflow is projected to be 27% lower than normal, in worst-case scenarios, even lower. If Lake Powell drops below 3,500 feet by next October, which is possible without a strong winter snowpack, hydropower stops. Air gets into the turbines at Glen Canyon Dam. That's electricity for 350,000 homes, gone. And it gets worse. Below that level, the Bureau of Reclamation loses its ability to send water downstream to Arizona, California, and Nevada. Tom Bushatsky said Arizona receives about 40% of its water from the Colorado River. If inflow drops 27% and negotiations fail and Lake Powell hits critical levels, Arizona doesn't just face deeper cuts, Arizona faces existential cuts. Arizona loses 18% of its Colorado River water while California loses nothing. The 7 states negotiating a solution have blown past their deadline and can't agree on who cuts what. Governor Katie Hobbs is demanding mandatory cuts from upper basin states, but they're refusing. The federal government has given everyone until February 14th to figure it out. And if they don't, Arizona, as the junior water rights holder, loses even more. The 2026 forecast shows river inflow will be 27% below normal. Lake Powell could hit critical levels by October, and Arizona is running out of time to avoid catastrophic cuts. The clock is ticking, the river is dying, and Arizona is about to find out what happens when the well runs dry.